Yo, what's up, y'all? This is DJ B Rice. You are tuned into Mid Atlantic Jams 97.3 FM. I have a very, very special guest in the building. I feel like one of the leaders of the new school when it comes to this underground production, and even I would feel like mainstream in the future as well. Just this man created some of the hottest beats in 2020 last year, from Armani Caesar's Countdown to Elzhi's Light One, Right One. Yo, my guest today is JR Swiftz. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yo, thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
One of the MPC Live One Masters, I feel like, of the universe on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely say that. Definitely.
Yeah, yo. Let's talk about just the JR Swift's beginnings, because I know you really started to bubble off of Bandcamp, but let's take it to your musical beginnings. Like, you're New York based, right? You were born in New York.
Right, right. So I was born in Eastern New York. Um, Grew up Penn Woodman Projects, for anybody know. And then I moved to VA around 97, 98. I moved to Virginia Beach, actually. No, yeah, Virginia Beach, Rosemont area. And I spent basically the rest of my life in VA, but I always went back and forth. So I spent time in New York and spent time in VA, but my schooling and everything is basically in VA. So, but I spent time split summers and all that. So the New York aspect never left. And then as I got older, I spent even more time in New York. So yeah, so I always say, back and forth.
Yo, I was having this conversation with one of my friends at the radio station the other night. Shout out to
Mm.
Big Rich. Are New York, would you consider New York and Virginia cousin states, like cousins to each other? I would say so.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, you deal with a lot of adversity when you're in the city like that, whether it's New York City, whether it's, LA or something like that. You deal with a lot of adversity. Um, for people that's trying to get away from that, they just move 6 hours away. They go to VA, and
Yeah.
they usually in the 7-5, either Virginia Beach, either they go to Norfolk or they Hampton, Newport News. They somewhere within the 7-5, or they might stop like Northern VA, like Alexandria or somewhere, but they normally stop in the 7-5 somewhere. So yeah, I would say definitely like cousins for sure. 'Cause that's where everybody go when they trying to move away from the city like that.
In Norfolk at the time, what
Mm.
were some of your hip hop influences, and what did you see surrounding you that influenced you to possibly pick up production one day?
Man, honestly, well, it started with my pops. My pops is actually a producer.
Okay.
So JR Swift is basically Swift Jr., but it didn't sound right. So his name is J Swift,
Okay.
and not J Swift from Far Side, but his name is J Swift. Well, it comes to J Swift, the producer now. But for me, I want to carry the name and the legacy. So it was JR Swift instead of Swift Jr. It didn't make sense. So the influence came from him. And then when we moved to VA, I actually was emceeing more so than production. I got in more production when I was like, hearing myself back, when I record. And at the time, I had a high pitched voice. So I was like, nah, this ain't for me. So I took production more serious around 12, 13. But when I moved to VA, I stayed in the studio all the time with like Knots Raw. So Knots,
Oh
I
yeah.
was always in the studio between him and like my father. But the foundation really, really started with my pops. So if it wasn't for him, of course I wouldn't be, where I'm at today. So that's my influence is really those two. Then everybody else came later.
It seems like the 757 was really help carrying the torch for Virginia at that time too, because you had not um
Being Pharrell.
you were talking about your father, and also like
Mm.
I believe out the radio out there was the Buddha Brothers.
Mm.
This really influential really influential duo I used to hear about all the time out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
yo, And
DJ
with
Stress. Yep.
and I was gonna ask you too, when it comes to like production, what programs did you start off? I read an interview that you started off with Fruity Loops, but what would you say would be like the first machine that you started off with?
Man, if you want to get technical, I was messing around like early, like 6, 7 years old. My pops had the MPC 2000, not the XL, but the regular 2000. I was using that like early, like 6, 7 years old, messing with the pads, trying to sample on there. And I remember asking like, "Yo, can you help me like sample whatever, whatever?" But that was the first drum machine that I actually used, which was the MPC 2000. Then as I got older, then I was messing with FL Studio. I think it was like 3 or 4. One of them, I was using that, and I was using Cakewalk to record. So I had a little group called TCG, and I ain't gonna mention what it stands for. It's funny, but I had a group called TCG, and it was me, my two of my cousins, and my homie that was around the way. So I'm engineering them and engineering myself. And so from FL to Cakewalk, then when I got to high school, it was Reason, like Reason for or somewhere around there. It was like early Reason. Then it was Reason, and then I remember I went to my cousin's house, and he never messed with music. Like that's not even his thing. But I remember he had a program called Ableton Live.
Oh yeah.
So I'm at his crib and I'm sitting, I'm like, yo, what? Because once you open them Ableton, it's a blank screen. It's not like FL. Once you open them FL, the drum programming and everything is right there in front of you. It's kind of same like Reason. But with Ableton, it's definitely not like that. It's a blank screen, then you hit tab, and then when you hit tab, it goes to arrangement mode. But everything's on your left hand side of there. Know that. So I remember watching a video. Shout out to Ski Beach. I remember watching a video, and Ski Beach was like advocating for Ableton. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how you do X, Y, and Z. I want to say I was using Ableton 7 or 8, one of them. Probably was 8. And that's how I was introduced to Ableton, was basically through Ski Beach, because I learned everything I needed, like the basis from him. And then I went to YouTube, did my homework, YouTube University, and then I used Ableton ever since, and I swear by it. So I've been using Ableton up to, for years now, basically.
And what was the process? You released your first beat tape in 2012. What was just like the thought process? Yo, like I'm finally gonna just put out these efforts and take the production route very, very seriously. Not to say that you weren't doing it before, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I just felt like I wanted to get a, make a name for myself. Nobody knew who, at that time, 2012, nobody knew who JR Swiftz was. So it's like, what can I do to, put my name out there, so to speak? And one of the ways that most people was, producers was doing was basically taking an artist, which I end up getting an artist later, taking an artist or a group, and then you produce for them, create the sound, they get put on, you get put on type of thing, or beat tapes.
Yeah.
So for me, kind of being stingy, not even saying kind of being stingy, I feel like I was nice. Listening to the beats now, I'm like, it was kind of trash. But listening to, at that time, I feel like I was nice. So I didn't want to put my beats available to the people like that. So I was like, let me try this. Let me put my beats out and make it available, whatever. Like, just don't steal my stuff. But, if you feel that beat, come holler at me. So I came up with Sewing Party. And basically, shout out to my bro Balaam. He actually drew the cover. He drew the cover, and I was like, "Yo, this is actually pretty fire. Yo, appreciate you." And what happened was I took a couple beats that I thought was fire, and I was like, "Yo, how can I be innovative? What can I do differently?" And basically, what I did, I took like a sound effect from YouTube, and basically like sound like somebody's taking the tape out from the tape deck and flip it over. And you know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to have that in transition. So it's not like an ordinary beat tape. It was like beats back to back, one waveform. So you just gotta run it through. It's not like you go on Bandcamp, you press play for the first beat, the second beat, third, fourth, whatever. It's like one long, you know what I'm saying, waveform of beats. So that's how I did my first beat tape, 2012.
And I feel like you had a couple beat tapes after that. And then, of course, the West Side Gun production happens. And I also think what also coincided my introduction to you was that, along with the Technical Foul EP with Unuvano from Baltimore.
Oh, so he pronounced it, You'll Never Know.
Wow. I've been saying it. And it's wild because I spent I spent a couple cuts off of the new project, the Baby Jordan joint. Right. And like the Technical Foul, I didn't even know. Pronounce it for me again so I can definitely say it right on air.
So it's basically like when somebody asks you, what's your name? You'll never know.
You'll never know.
So so you'll never know. So that's how he came. Actually, that's how somebody gave him that name. Yeah. So he was trying to think of a name or whatever. And this is a story he told me. He was like, yo, I remember one time I was trying to come up with a name, and one of his close homies was like, yo, we should go with, what's your name, bro? Like, what you do? You'll never know. So he was like, but change it instead of putting YOU, apostrophe ULL, like you'll never know. Put it like ULLNEVANO. So it's slick. So I was like, okay, that was smooth. Cause I asked myself, like, how you come up with the name? But yeah, it's you'll never know.
Yeah, cause
you call never. Yeah.
Cause I was saying it crazy at first, but that's cool because I seen it on Instagram and he's supposed to be stopping by the show in May. So to definitely promote. So it's gonna be like really dope. But how did that project happen?
So it was actually through the producer that did Baby Jordan, which is me and he. I think he heard some production of mine through him, and he was like, yo, he's pretty dope. And at the time I didn't have any placements. Yeah, I didn't have any placements at the time, but he was like super dope. And I was listening, I was like, okay, word, like this is different. You know what I mean? It has like that off rhythm, doing type of flow. So it was new to me. It's like, I wonder how he would sound with, over my production. But one thing I can say about Never, like he has an ear for production. And I just recently had a conversation with him about that. I was like, yo, I think you should take a different approach with your production. You should choose different type of production that fit where you're trying to go because like the style, the flow, the cadence that he has and the approach that he's taking, the beats is not fitting because the beats is going to overpower. Not saying that was the case with my with my production. That I'm not saying that was the case, but just hearing, the things that he could achieve, I think he need to choose different production that'll fit him. But yeah, so that's how that came about through Manhi, and he was like, "Y'all wanted to work." I bet. So and I ended up sending him some joints and he was rocking with it. And that's how Technical Foul came about. Crazy project.
Cause oh my God, and Technical, that's essential gym music right there. For the promoters, I don't do free shows. That shit is tight. Right. That shit is really tight. Right. But yeah, exactly. We saw you in the studio recently with Westside Gun and another underground leader of the new school, Sadu Gold. Just
Sadu Gold. Yeah.
It's Sadu Gold. Oh, damn. It's Sadu Gold, yo. Yo. Tell us about just some of your favorite memories out of that session. And I actually have another question about Sadu Gold after this.
Yeah, for sure. Man, yo, that session was crazy, bro. Like, I'm still amazed. Like to this day, I'm still amazed that I'm in the position that I'm in to work with West. Cause I remember 2017, me and the homie Balaam, he pulled up on me for my B-Day, him and his homie Q. He was like, yo, you wanna go to this West, this Griselda concert out in Charlotte? I'm like, I bet, yeah, pull up. So he pulled up on me. We went to the concert. That's when I first seen West. I heard West the year before though. They was on a Hall and Nash, which is West and Conway. They was on a record with the Royce the 5'9" called Banjo, produced by A-Rap Music, one of my favorite producers. A-Rap Music, but I didn't know at that time he had Fly God out. But so I'm only listening to they verses, and they had a whole West had a whole project out. Anyway, 2017, going to the concert. Fast forward, now I'm in the whole session with him. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. The experience was like that's like my big brother in a sense. Like he showed mad love, funny dude, love music. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. He don't listen to a lot of rap. He listens to like a lot of R&B, and he would tell you that he said, "Yo, like once I leave the studio, that rap shit is done." You know what I'm saying? Like the rap stuff is completely done. I listen to R&B, so which I'm the same way. Like I rather vibe to some neo soul, um, or like some Isley Brothers or something like that. Like the rap stuff, I do it, but I go listen to something else. But to be around him, Sado Gold, Conductor Williams came through later, um, and everybody had great vibes. Camouflage Monk was there. Who else? Camouflage Monk. Mark Hami was there. Who else? Fahim, the guy Fahim was there. Man, it was dope, man. It was super, super ill to have being, building with these individuals like this close, because these is people that fans look up to and listen to their music every day. And it's like here I am still being a fan, but also I'm in producer mode. Like I'm literally in the session with these people and it's still crazy. Like, and I don't really get starstruck or nothing like that because my history, my past, like I've been around like celebrities because of my father. But it's like with these people that you listen to and look up to, um, you're like, wow, I'm literally in a session with them. So that whole week was crazy. It was fine.
Yeah, yo, that's crazy. And the next question I had to ask is you and Sadu Gold, that battle y'all had a
Yeah,
battle online,
right.
a beat battle. Did that happen before the first verses or after?
That's a great question because the first, I'm gonna tell you this. I would say him and Q3. Shout out to Q3. They was the first online battle type thing like that,
Yeah.
and I believe that's what sparked the whole verses because they kind of went viral. Like they went viral off of that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I want to say it was before. I think it was before because
I
there's
want to
other
say it
people that was
was.
battling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was other battles too. I think it was Fortes. He did a lot of stuff for like Styles P,
Yeah.
and I think he battled Nicholas Craven. So it was like other battles going on. I just wish they would have continued because I feel like there's other people that could have battled. Like I could have battled like Future Wave or Nicholas Craven or who else that's coming up. But I wish it would have continued. But yeah, I think our battle, me and Sato Go, I think that was definitely before the first verses.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you're tapped in with this Virginia scene that's going on, this Virginia hip hop scene. Shout out to RVA
Right.
Rap Elite. I noticed that you provided the soundtrack for their last event
Mm,
too, as well.
mm.
Who are some of your favorite MCs out of VA right now?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not really too tapped in with VA. Aside from like bro, I can't think of his name right now. Uh, I can't think, but homie that runs the whole joint. I can't even
Are you
think
talking
right
about
now,
Mutant
bro.
Academy?
No, not me, but yeah, them two. They all, man. I forgot they all from Richmond. So yeah, them. I think they're dope. But what's the brother? He from Richmond too, man.
Radio B.
Uh, yes, I don't know why I can't think of people's names right now. I'm wilding, but yes, that's bro. Like Radio B is crazy. Like him, I would say Mutant Academy. Um, I would probably go my homie Alien Roswell.
Yeah,
Um,
757. He came up to Richmond and burned it down at
yeah,
one of the RVA Rapper League joints.
yeah, him, Alien Roswell, DMP, of course. So that's like Big Shot, Top G, Boogie. List goes on. It's a few of them. So DMP. Trying to think who else on the South from VA. I'm probably missing a few, but it's not a lot though. It's not a lot. It's like people that I really tap in with. I'm pretty sure there's more, but I ain't really too tapped in outside of my peoples.
Word. And yo, we see you on social media with the MP Live One, using it like a complete professional. When that joint looks like algebra 3 or 4 to the normal person, yo,
Right.
how did you just grow to like that machine? And what do you think about this whole koala wave that's going on right now?
So the machine was dope. Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I even looked up any tutorials, bro. Like
Wow.
I probably know. Like I make this work for me. It's pretty much stuff on here that I don't even know about. Like I make it work for me. But yeah, it's definitely a nice little task for sure. But the whole koala wave, like it's fire. It's basically like a SP 303 or 404 right in your pocket. Well, in your phone. I actually had a battle. I think DBR say runs the battle, or him and maybe a few other people. They run a battle between koala and people who actually use the 303 or the 404. And I think the people who make beats on the koala app actually won the battle. So that says a lot. Like, shout out to Madlib. You could make beats on your phone, iPad, and still get the same results as like you're making a beat on MPC Live or Ableton or Reason, Logic, whatever, your DAW of choice. You can get busy using whatever. There's no limitations no more like it used to.
Yeah. And what can we expect from JR Swiftz in 2021? I feel like we've gotten a teaser for a MOP track, but what else can we expect?
And so next Friday, I have a record coming out that I produced with the homie Balaam as
Yeah.
well. Um, that's the staying joint. So shout out to Rosenberg, shout out to West Side Gun. So I
Real
did this
late
joint
album.
called yeah. So that joint is fire. Got that in the works. The NLP record in the works. I guess I could put this out there. I got a joint with Skyzoo coming out on his new album.
Okay.
I got a new Papoose record out. I forgot the name of the joint. But then you also could check out February, his previous project. I did Sticks and Stones and I did Serial Killer. That's been going crazy.
The Pap
Um,
joint. We played that last
yeah,
episode.
yeah, that joint. Of course, it still run up the numbers on 7 times down, 8 times up.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not going anywhere. Um, Still run that up. But for this year,
That was one of
that's
that.
it.
I feel like that was in the top 3 best projects or my favorite projects of last year. Like
Man, thank
period.
you.
If not, like some days I feel like it's like number 1, especially with some of the messages that you get on there and with like the production that like backs it. Yeah, yo, how did that album even happen, yo?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you. All those songs supposed to be Lucy's.
Okay.
All those songs supposed to be like single tracks. So 2017, right? So you follow me. You see, I put the beat making videos out.
Yeah.
So I been doing that, but I was at another spot. So I'm doing that, and I was like, yo, I can hit L on this. So on some humbug late night, I'm cooking. I sent the video to him in the DM. He responded, and I'm like, and mind you, and this a trick. Well, not a trick, but maybe this destiny. I don't know. But crazy shit happened around my birthday time, either the day before or 2 before or 2 or a day or 2 after. It's always around my birthday time. So I was just about to turn 27, I think. 26, 27. Might have been 27. So maybe it's like 2 or 3 days before I sent him the video, you know what I mean? And he opened the DM. He was like, yo, this shit is dope. He went through the whole catalog at the time, the beats that I had post. He went through the selection. He's like, yo, shit's dope. He gave me his number. I'm like, what? So I called him and he was like, yo, it's good. He real super humble, laid back dude. I'm like, bro. Now I never get starstruck. I like I said, I seen a lot of celebrities growing up, and that right there starstruck me, bro. I was like, yo, like was good. Like I didn't know what to say.
Legend.
So we building and we just talking about like records, talking about life, and he's like, yo, just send me a pack. What? I say, less. What you mean? So I'm getting all the fire joint that, coming up, whatever. And I'm sending him the joints. He's like, yo, this fire, this fire, this fire. And he was like, yo, it was so much heat to go through. He was like, yo, I don't know what to pick. You know what I mean? Bro told me like a lesson too. Like I thought I was a perfectionist. Like if I can't get something, I'm gonna have somebody else do it for me, like somebody that's in my camp. Or I'm like, nah, this has got to be a certain way. Like I'm really particular about my craft. He got me beat like times 10. Like dude is super, like a super perfectionist with his work, with his craft, and I respect that like highly. Um, just how crazy the work was. Like I would have a beat, right? Tempo would be like 77. So I cook at a certain tempo for a certain groove, a certain mood, right? So he would be like, send me a tempo of 80, 81, 82, and 83. I'm like, huh? And it was like that for every beat. So just imagine like cuts that didn't make the album. So just think actual like rough drafts. I'm doing that to every single beat. So the tempo might be 81. Yo, send me 83. Send me 84. I'm like, you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference because it's a bounce, the way that the swing of the drums, all these things. So now, basically, when I make beats, I have him in mind. Like, let me make this a little bit faster. You know what I mean? Because I'm just thinking, like,
Yeah.
this how I want the groove of the bass or the kicks or whatever. But yeah, so he was like, we just gonna cook and we're just gonna put out single songs. So the single songs end up turning into an album. He's like, nah, we're gonna make it to a cut. He was like, yo, you fire enough to put out a project with, and I trust you. So 2019, like November, we end up going to, well, I end up going to, like I said, we both, he was in Cali, he flew to Detroit. From Charlotte, flew to Detroit as well. And I actually locked in and to see this man work, I'm like, yo, I'm really in the studio right now with L. That shit was crazy. And I know we ain't document anything, we ain't take pictures and like that, but I was really like just locked in and it was like damn. But it was just so crazy, like how that happened. That wasn't supposed to be an album. It just turned out to be that way. And I never forget this. I never forget this. Like God bless his dad. Like rest in peace, like my cousin, right? And rest in peace to him too. But he was like, "Yo, listening to your production gave me the same feeling that Dilla gave me." I was like, "Excuse me." He was like, yo, you gave me that same feeling, that same vibe that Dilla used to give me. That's one of the most like, yo, one of the most respectable things somebody could say to you. Cause everybody wanna be Dilla. Everybody, they made a whole genre based off of Dilla lo-fi, but Dilla wasn't even lo-fi at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for him to even say that to me, I was like, wow, like I didn't know what to say. I was like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody tell you, yo, the vibe you giving me is like Dilla. And this is a man I work with Dilla closely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy, bro.
Yeah. And one of the last questions I had to ask you, how did that
Mm.
countdown beat get to Armani Caesar though? Beat is like that joint just reminds you, it's just like some craziness like the Royal Rumble or something like that.
Oh yeah, man, this nigga West, man. So West was dropping his album for Shady, right? So the
Who Made the
Sunshine joint,
Sunshine?
yeah, who made the sunshine? So he's like, y'all need a batch. All right, cool. I'm sending him some shit, some heat. And I'm like, I'm cooking. I'm like, word, this is fine. He dubbed all them shit. He dubbed them. Not like that though, but it didn't fit the project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying like it was corny. Clearly it was corny. But listening to the project, you could tell what sound he was going for. I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, I sent you some heat. But of course it didn't fit the project. And he would probably tell you, yeah, them shit was fire. But it didn't fit what I was going for. Cool, that's part of the game. So I was gonna take them same beats. I'm like, all right, I'm about to, this how I move. If I send you a batch, send you, joints. If I don't hear from you, it's just going. I'm flying them somewhere else. But with him, meaning that it's like that, the love is there. If I'm not gonna use it, somebody else will. So I started to pick up on that. Like, damn, if I send him beats, if he don't use it, the nigga probably gonna give it to somebody else in the camp. That's what ended up happening. Um, God bless his dad, DJ Shay. He had passed, and I know Armani was already dropping. I didn't know it was on her album though. Like, I'm gonna be real, I didn't know. But it didn't really leak. And then what happened was it was about to be released on a certain day, and then you tried to take all of the songs with the whole album off every digital streaming platform. So somebody probably called Win and ripped it and put it out. So it ain't really leaked.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, it's on YouTube. Let me see if I got a joint on there. So I Google on YouTube, looking, like, oh word. So I got two joints on here. I got a joint with her and Conway, and I got the Countdown joint. I got Gucci Casket, and they got Countdown. I said, oh, and she wigged.
Yeah.
I said,
I
oh,
remember
this
when
is fire.
I remember when the promo video came out for Countdown, like you could clearly hear that it was a JR Swiftz production. Like,
Yeah.
remember she came out with that promo video where it's just her
Mm-hmm.
rapping the first verse of Countdown. Yeah, like before that, like a couple days before the album dropped. I mean, the days the EP dropped officially.
Yeah. It was super crazy, bro, because I didn't know she even got the production from me, because like I said, I was gonna pitch that beats to somebody else, because clearly the beats didn't fit the mold of the album. So I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, hard feelings, like that's business. It's part of the
Yeah.
game. So I look,
that's carrying on tradition of anything, because I feel like that's how it would roll at, like, say, like your Rockefellers, or that would happen. You would see that happen all the time at like the independent labels.
So it's not even just about being independent. That's how you know if a person respects you or not, and respect what you do. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna use it because it's not fitting for something. Somebody else in the camp gonna use it though. That's somebody that respects your craft and your work. Instead of telling you, nah, I ain't feeling it, and then the same beats go to somebody else. You're like, yo, I got people around me that rap that's nice. Yo, JR, you gonna land somewhere. That's somebody that's only gonna gotta be me. It could be Sadu, it could be Conductor, it could be Monk, it could be whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's somebody that respects you and your craft. And I have none but high respects for a person that see my worth. Because I'm definitely gonna see your worth. Clearly, I seen your worth as an artist that wanted to work with you since day one. So for you to see my worth as a producer, wanted to bring me in, you wanted me there for a week. Like, at West, text me right now and be like, I need you here Monday. Like, I'm packed. Like, go ahead, do what you need to do. I'll be there. And that's what happened going back. That's what happened with Atlanta. He was like, I need you here Monday. How long can you stay? Like I'm saying for the week. What you mean? Like this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like when COVID hit, I lost my JO. I was like, go back to work or do this full time. Nigga, I'm nice. I'm doing this full time. What you mean? Like, so that was the option that I took. And it's been a blessing. Just like anybody else probably tell you the same thing. A lot of people started their first business or started that business that they wanted to start for the longest time, but their job might have got in the way. I was one of those people. It just the job that I was doing, of course, my music is gonna come last because my 9 to 5. It's like now my music is taking care of me the way it should. You know what I mean? So for somebody to keep my music circulating within a circle, that speaks volumes. And you know, telling what he said behind closed doors. And I know he's talking about me behind closed doors because I end up linking with evidence.
Word,
He's
yeah.
like, yo, I know, yeah, he's like, I know about you through West. West came through. He was like, yo, we need to fuck with such and such. I'm pretty sure. So you don't know what a person is saying behind closed doors, but if somebody trying to follow you and watch you, then yeah, that's somebody that respects you. And I've seen it in front of me too. Like my comment came through, he was like, yo, you need to this nigga's crazy. So that speaks volume. Like that's my bro all day.
Word, Joe. JR definitely appreciate you for definitely taking the time and talking to us today on Mid Atlantic Jams. You already know we'll keep the heaters in rotation and definitely looking forward to just seeing you like on your rise right now for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you for even having me, bro. Thank you. Thank you.
Bet.